Welcome to Net Fit and Chill. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about basically calories and how to get a good handle on your relationship with food. Because this is honestly just a very ongoing kind of process. So the thing with food is anything can be addictive, and so I think for everybody's addicted to at least one thing. So for me personally, I actually love everything. So I love salt, sugar. I mean anything you put in front of me that obviously tastes good to me. I'm gonna want it all. So now I say no probably more than anybody you meet. I mean, if you've ever offered me anything, most of the time I'm gonna say no. I'm not gonna eat that, or thank you, but I won't eat it. So this is really what I've kind of broken down. I didn't realize I was doing it, but I've broken down how I've been able to do that. And so I'm gonna give you guys 6 things that you can start with to just start developing better habits for yourself when it comes to food. So the first one I have is if you've never done this before, you need to track your food for 1 week. So you can use any app out there. So I want you tracking the food not for the purposes of following the macronutrients that they recommend on the app. So your proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Don't worry about any of that for now. This is your first step. So your first step is just track what you're eating, just so you know what you're eating. Don't change anything about what you do. So I want you just to go through the whole week. I don't care if you have Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King every day. It doesn't matter. So as long as you basically you're collecting data. That's all you're doing. You're collecting data so you can look at it further down the road. Okay. The second thing is what you're going to do. Basically, when you're done with that 1 week, you're going to start to evaluate really just one thing at a time. So what we're going to evaluate first is your drink calories. So this is where you actually give yourself the first goal. And the first goal is to cut out every drink out there except for water, tea, and then coffee if you drink it. So tea is really, really good. And this means you're not going to add additional stuff to it for the most part. I mean, I know coffee, you might add a cream and a sugar. That's totally fine. Just don't go overboard with it. Don't do anything that's going to break the bank, essentially. Okay, so just do that. So cut your drink calories. That's what we're doing. We're cutting the drink calories out because that's where a lot of those excess calories come from for most people. Maybe not for everybody, but this is a great step for you. Number 3, what you're going to do now is you're going to focus on proteins. So the reason I say focus on protein is because protein is basically what makes everything in the body grow and regenerate. So any of your protein calories and proteins in the body, they're all related somehow, and so you do have a minimum that you need to eat per day. Typically, this is 0.6 to 0.8 per pound equal to grams. So that just means if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to be having roughly, what is that, about 160, 140 grams of protein a day. There is no science out there that says you need to have more than that. There's none. So all these guys doing 1.5 to 2 times per pound of their body weight per day to gain muscle, there's actually no science behind that. It's the supplement industry trying to sell you more supplements. That's all it is. So you actually don't need more than that. If you're taking more than that, you need to go do your research and learn why you're doing that. I don't do anything unless I know why I'm doing it. I don't just do something because it says on the label I'm going to gain more muscle from it. You've been sold essentially on something like that. So don't worry about that. The next thing you're going to do after that, and just to kind of recap, you're doing this typically for like a week or 2 at a time, like per segment. So like the first week, you're tracking your calories. For the second, cutting your drink calories. Try that for a week or 2 until you get comfortable, and then you're going to move on to proteins. Do that for about a week, and then after that, you're going to focus on nutrients. So what I mean by that is focus on nutrient-dense foods. So these are going to be foods that are very high in vitamins, minerals. This can be vegetables, fruits. Try to just start incorporating a little bit a little bit of that into your diet. This way you can find out what you really like. So you're not going like one thing at a time, trying to figure out, oh no, now I need to eat carbohydrates, but I have to eat good ones. And I mean, it's really overwhelming. So just take the whole spectrum of food, figure out what you like to eat, and that way it's a lot easier for you down the road. And there's so many different things out there. If you like one thing, you're probably gonna like the other, right? So it's gonna teach you more about what you like. Like, I didn't know I liked mushrooms until like this year, you know what I mean? So I just didn't know, because I wasn't thinking of it really in that sense. Like, okay, maybe I should mix this up and try it out. And so I didn't force feed myself, but I started incorporating the flavor into certain foods because I knew that they were good for me. So I don't know why I chose mushrooms. I just randomly did. So nothing against any other foods. That's just how it happened for me. So the next one is concentrate and focus on good fats. So there's a big myth out there that everything low fat is healthy for you. This is absolutely incorrect. So the reason that America and all these other countries have gained weight and gotten higher in body fat over the years is actually from carbohydrates. There's very, very little science supporting, well, I wouldn't say there's little. There's not as much science supporting that fat makes us fat versus carbohydrates make us fat. Okay, so again, do your research on that. A lot of people, this kind of explains like the ketogenic diet, if you've heard of that. So this is basically very, very low carb, and then kind of like middle of the road protein, and then you have a high fat intake. So fat, I mean, this is good fats like avocados, mixed nuts, seeds, things like that. I'm not talking about, slamming back bacon for every meal, although bacon is actually okay for you if you do it in moderation. So these are healthy fats. So just focus on those. Okay, again, you're going to do this for about a week or two. So you're teaching yourself something new every time that you're starting kind of a new list. And then from there, you're going to focus on carbohydrates. So carbohydrates is, essential for a lot of things in the body. So, when you wake up in the morning, a lot of the carbohydrate intake you have for the morning is actually responsible for a lot of like your brain function for the day. So now fats can also replace this at some level, at like a ketogenic state, but we're talking about more just a general American or a general person, right? So focus on your carbohydrates. So these are, again, you're going to go back to nutrients. So what is good for you on those things? So do you need all these starches? Do you need all the French fries? Do you need anything fried? Like for instance, like if you have, like fried chicken, right? So there's protein in the chicken, but you're not considering like on the layer on the outside, not the skin itself, but when you fry it, you obviously are going to get a ton of carbohydrates in there. It's basically surrounded by bread. You're basically eating a sandwich at that point. So focus on the nutrient-dense carbohydrates. And then from there, you can really start to unravel what you like and then start to kind of develop your own meal plan, because you are you and nobody else is like you. So take advantage of what you like. Don't try to follow somebody else's meal plan that worked for them, because it only worked for them because that's what they like. So learn who you are, and then just go through the list. And if you have to repeat it again, just repeat it again. Go back to tracking your food after step 6. And then, well, good luck to you. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Remember to subscribe below, and follow me on follow me on the site as well, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. Thanks guys, have a good day, bye.